All right, What's Cooking Wednesday live edition. We are going to be making pizza on the charcoal grill. Nick Parsons is going to be going over this and talking more on how he's going to position it in our Hasty Bake charcoal grill. So what we have here is a pizza screen, and we got a pizza kit from Andolini's. You can use any pizza dough from the grocery store, or go to your local pizza place and see if they have pizza kits local to the customers right now with everything going on. A lot of pizza places are doing pizza kits, and it's fun to do with the family and friends here. So we are just getting this link to be shared over to the Facebook page, and we are going to be getting started. And we can't forget the duck fat.
All right, hopefully you guys heard all that. I realize I have the microphone on me and she's talking. So we're excited about this. This is fun. We're going to try to make this fairly regular. We'll do it every couple weeks. But today we are going to be doing pizza on the grill. Now we do have an upcoming pizza class that Sean Walker and I think a couple other people are teaching. Jennifer, you remember when?
Zach Roll. Zach Roll is going to be doing it.
Zach Roll.
And Kevin Anderson and Stephanie Atkinson.
Kevin Anderson, Stephanie Atkinson. When did we reschedule that class? Do you remember?
It is in June.
June, awesome. So I don't know if there's any availability, but if there is, it's out there. If not, there's a wait list you can join. So we're not going to be doing like a 3-hour pizza class like we're going to do that night, but I am going to show you today how to do some kind of quickie pizza on the grill. Now I know we have some folks that love to do this at home with like small naans or pitas or something like that. That's wonderful. You can also go by your local grocer and get some dough kind of in a pop can like biscuits are, and you kind of roll it out. What we did today was we went to one of our favorite local places, Andolini's, and they sell a make-yourself pizza kit. It's about $25. They give you 3 rounds of these doughs, enough cheese, enough sauce, enough pepperoni, kind of for actually about 2 of them, but they give you an extra dough to kind of play with so you can practice tossing it or something like that. I, for one, am absolutely horrible with tossing dough, so there's no way we're even going to try to do that today. But what we are going to do is we'll stretch it. And it is sticky, so if you're at home and you got some flour or some cornmeal, it's always good to put that on your hands. I'm not at home. We're at the shop today, so I'm just going to do a little bit of duck fat on my hands so I don't stick to the dough. But what I'm going to do here is basically just start stretching this dough out. Now, if there's someone who really knows how to make pizzas, they're probably going to look at me and laugh and say that is not how you do it, but it's always worked for me. The main thing is you want to make sure that you don't have any really, really thin pieces, because at some point they'll probably break through. So I just kind of go in a circle, find anything that's thick and start stretching it out. Kind of let the weight of the pizza hang. Going around here. And once you get it about as stretched as you think you can, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put it, I like to use a pizza screen. There's a lot of people who like to use, you know, I actually need to spray the screen down too first.
We did have a question from Eric. Can an inverted grill grate work instead of a steel pizza grate?
An inverted grill, like I think you mean like the brand grill grates? Yes, it will. So the reason I like using one of these, one, they're dirt cheap. They're about $6 or $7. You can take it off the grill, you can put it underneath your where we're going to broil it, you can bring it back into the kitchen. These are real handy. But if you don't have something like that and you just want a flat surface, a grill grate, brand grill grate will actually work fine. A pizza stone also works fine. The thing with a pizza stone is you definitely want to make sure that you get it pre-heated. So you're going to want to put it on your grill ahead of time. So you're not going to prepare your pizza on the pizza stone, you're going to prepare it on a different surface, and then you're going to go ahead and transfer it to the pizza stone. So the reason I like these grates that I'm using today is you don't have to worry about moving this thing around. Once you make it on this, that's where it's going to be made. You're going to leave it on it. You're going to transfer it on it all the way up to the time you cut it. Now, the reason I have none of this stuff prepped, like it's in bags and everything, I want you to see just kind of how you do it from the beginning. Again, we're not professional pizza makers here, but this is a really cool thing to do from home for your family. So we kind of want to show you how we do it. What I'm doing right now is I'm going around the edges where it's a little thick, just kind of trying to stretch it out a little bit more. It's going to cook a lot more evenly if you can get that dough even. So you want to kind of avoid having big clumps or real thin clumps. This area is getting a little thin, so I'm kind of going to avoid it, but I do want to come back around where these pieces are thicker, and I just kind of keep working in a circle. Again, there's probably a better way to do this if you're an actual professional pizza maker like some of our local restaurant pizza are. If you know how to toss that dough, I'd love to learn. I've tried, I've dropped it on the ground, I'm just no good at it. But this works. So, sauce goes a long way. It actually goes further than you think it goes. So what I like to do with the sauce is, and if you're doing this at home, you can use a Ziploc bag. I just cut a little corner with a pair of scissors off the bag. And I do a little squirt of sauce in the middle there. And start off with a small amount. If you need to add, you can always add. But spread it out best you can. I'm going to put a little bit more. Where'd my hole go? There it is. Perfect.
Someone asked, where'd you get that big cutting board at?
Tulsa Grill Store sells them. We got them branded with Hasty Bake. We have them unbranded. They're absolutely wonderful. The guy who makes them, I believe, is based in Kansas or Missouri.
Missouri.
Missouri. So we have them made for us. I think the company is called something by Cork, but it's the only wood grill or the only wood cutting boards you're going to find here at the grill store. They're wonderful. I personally have a handful of them at home. I love them. They work really well. They're heavyweight. They got a good grease strain on them. They got handles on the sides to carry, so they work really well.
And where can you get those pizza screens at?
Pizza screens, we got them at the grill store too. If you're not local, I don't remember if they're on the website or not. If not, Amazon's got them. They're, like I said, they're dirt cheap. They're actually good for other stuff than pizza too. So like if you want to move a bunch of chicken wings or something like that around, prep them in the house and take them out. They're great to carry some stuff with. You throw them in the dishwasher when they're all done. They withstand a lot of heat. They'll last you quite a while. But again, they're not expensive, so I don't mind kind of ruining them if I need to. All right, so we got that done. We're going to go ahead and bust into our cheese. They kind of give you kind of it's not a shredded cheese, it's kind of a powdered cheese from Andolini's here in town. So we're going to do a nice even spread. If there's any chunks, we'll kind of try to break it out. You can use mozzarella from the store. I like this fresh shredded cheese because it doesn't have any binders in it. A lot of times when you buy shredded cheese from the store, it's got things like potato starch and things like that to keep the cheese from sticking together in the bag. So this makes it a little bit easier for us to spread out. Nothing's gonna stick or bind, and I think it just tastes better. It melts a lot better, that's for sure. So again, when we buy this kit, it's got enough cheese in it and enough sauce and everything for probably about 2 pizzas. What I do with that third one, because like I said, I'm no good tossing dough, I cut these out into small pieces and I make like garlic knots with them or pretzels or something like that. Put some garlic butter on it. They turn out absolutely wonderful. So you don't end up having to waste that if you don't necessarily want to practice. We're putting some pepperoni on now. I made one of these at home the other day. I sauteed up, fried up some sausage that I got from Burnco, broke it down into small pieces, put that on it. It was wonderful. So we're going to start putting the pepperonis. Now remember, pepperonis have a lot of fat content in them, so you really want them to touch each other when you put them on here. If you spread them out the way you want them to look, by the time the pizza's all done, there's going to be massive holes everywhere. So you want these pepperonis to really touch. And truthfully, I kind of did a bad job of this. Some of the sauce should have really come up to the edge a little bit more. We'll have a little more crust on this one, but luckily I have another one that I can make better. So these will keep going, backfill. Any other questions, or are we doing pretty good?
We're doing good.
Awesome. All right, I think that's all I'm going to do for now. Now I don't have anything with me here, but a lot of times at home what I like to do is put some garlic, granulated garlic on it. What I've actually found the best way to do is put your sauce on, throw some granulated garlic in the sauce, and then put the cheese on so you don't have it on the top. But if you like that topping, you want to put some basil on it, some oregano, some Italian seasoning, have at it, do whatever your favorite flavor is. At the end of the time when I'm all done, I do like to put some butter on the crust as well, but I don't do it when it's on the grill. I do it after and kind of let it rest and put on. That is it for the first pizza we're going to make. If you want to follow me out to the outdoor kitchen, we'll walk through this really lonely Tulsa grill store. Wish you guys were here, but we're going to have some fun cooking with this today. Everyone say hi to Philip. Philip's our new sales associate here. He's kicking butt, taking names, literally taking names.
Taking names.
breaking the thunderstorms today, which is kind of nice. I'll kick up here right about the time you need to hear me. We're using the Hasty Bake Legacy 132 today. This thing is hot, hot, hot. So what I did, if you want to come in here again, I don't know if you can see it, don't go directly over it because it's so hot, but I filled an entire firebox full of coal and I lit everything. Normally you'd never want to do that unless you're just grilling super hot and fast, but I want this thing to bake, bake, bake. So it's probably about 550, 600 degrees in here. I'm going to put this pizza right on top and let it do this thing. Best guess on that is probably going to be somewhere around probably 7 to 10 minutes at the most. Depends on how thick your crust is and those places that we kind of tried to pull it even out. But it's going to take about that amount of time to get that thing baked. I've had some questions about, do you just take that whole thing and put it right underneath the charcoal broil? I don't, and the reason being is you're going to get a really nice toasty, maybe even overcooked crust on the top, and then your bottom crust is going to end up being undercooked. So our goal here is to use this truly like an oven. You'll notice we're kind of in the baked smoke position. The reason I don't have it directly on bake is because that thing is so hot that if I keep it in the bake position, it's going to end up burning the bottom of the bread. So I have it in the smoke position to kind of create some distance there. It's going to start baking. It's going to start browning that crust. Now what I'm looking for when this is done is I'm going to grab it with a set of tongs. And I'm just going to pick up that crust and look underneath in a couple pieces and see if it starts to brown, starts to cook well. If it does do what I want it to be doing, it is cooking well, then I'll go ahead and take it out near the very end and I'm going to broil it, and I'll show you how to do that. It's a very quick process to broil. I leave it in there maybe 30, 45 seconds, spin it once or twice just to kind of even it out, and then we're going to call that thing done. So it is a very fast process on the broil, but you want to start baking it ahead of time. Now you can par cook your dough. So some people like to just take the dough, put it on a piece of stone, put it on the screen ahead of time, get it semi or mostly the way cooked, bring it back in, top it, and broil it. That's always an option there too. But I like to kind of do everything right here. It picks up the smoke into the cheese, it picks up the smoke into the bread, all that good stuff.
So we have a question. Do you have the heat deflector on?
I do not have a heat deflector on. You can do that. The one way I would do if I'm doing that is I build a fire in the middle, put the heat deflector on so it's kind of hovering in the middle and let the heat come up and around. I like a little crunchier, a little toastier dough on mine, so it ends up kind of being toast. So I did not put the heat deflector on. But if you feel like you're unbelievably hot, you definitely can. No harm in checking this. You see it's still doughy, but it's kind of starting to turn brown. It's kind of starting to unstick from the bottom. See the brown lines there? So we're getting there. It's getting close. Give it another couple minutes. The hotter it is, the quicker this thing cooks, but you really do want to pay attention and keep an eye on the bottom of that crust, because if not, you're going to end up turning the whole thing into a charred piece of toast.
We had someone say, is there any curbside slices available?
Right? Andolini's has curbside slices where we got this. I do want to encourage you guys, please, if you're able to, continue to support our local restaurants. We had a really nice, awesome surge of when this whole thing started, of having these restaurants get just inundated with people supporting them and loving them, and that's been wonderful. But we're going on like a month and a half now, and a lot of that stuff is kind of starting to trail off. One, because most people aren't wanting to leave their house. Two, we're a little worried about finances and things like that. So I understand we're all in the same boat, but if any way possible, please continue to get out, order curbside from those restaurants, continue to support them. We want them to be here when this whole thing's over. One of the reasons we went to Andolini's rather than going down to the box store and buying, some pre-made dough from Pillsbury or someone like that, is we want to continue to give these guys our love. So check out your local restaurants, continue to love on them. They really do need you.
Also, do you add any wood chunks?
So I did not to this, but you absolutely can. So pecan, oak, anything that's your favorite, you definitely can do. See, start some bubble here. Like I mentioned before, I should have put some of that sauce and that cheese a little further on the outside. We have a little bit more dough, a little more crust than we wanted to. We're getting toasty. I'm going to call that good. So let me grab a welding glove.
And would that screen fit on a Suburban?
You know what? We'll check for you. I'm not entirely sure. Who asked that question?
Michael.
Michael, we will absolutely check for you, bud. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to move this over here just to get it off the fire. And what we're looking for now is I'm going to raise this firebox up far enough, excuse me, a little bit more, far enough that it's going to be above the heat shield. So I'll tell you how I do this. I don't even remember where I first saw someone do this, but somebody in our community was great. I like to give these coals a good shake, so if you want to come in here again, I'll show you. With a welding glove only. Do not do this with anything but a welding glove. You want to give those coals a really good shake, and the reason being is because if not, you're going to have all that hot coal that just fell. It'll fall right down on your piece. I'm going to slide that heat shield underneath. Judge that distance. That's probably about right. I'm going to give it another ½ inch or so of coming up just to make sure. And then I'm going to take this pizza and we're going to put it right on top of that heat shield and give that about 10 seconds, and I want to watch this thing start bubbling. There you go. Here's your bubble. It's going to be a quick broil. Get it in there so I get all that toasty. I'll give it about 15-20 seconds here. And then because it is lumped charcoal, it's going to be a little inconsistent in that box. I want to just kind of do a couple flips so that I even out the heat. I don't have one piece that's black and one piece that's not.
Is that a full fire box or a half?
That's a full fire box. You really want to get that full fire box in there. See, we're already starting to get done. I'm going to call that done right there. Come on over here. Set that down, let it cool. You want to get a shot of that. Now, if you don't rotate it fast enough, you'll end up getting these kind of charred black pieces. That's the joy of cooking on film, on camera, is every now and then you goof up, but that's fine. It's still going to be wonderful, and I got more I can make. So, any other questions that popped up on this live?
Someone wants to know, do we have any damaged grills for discounted price?
So as of right now, we do not. So later on in the year, in September, I believe we have our scratch and dent sale. Rarely do we actually even have damaged grills. Every now and then they'll have a small scratch or a little inconsistency in the powder coat or something like that. When those pop up, we store them all in the back, and then we bring them out for the big scratch and dent sale in September. So normally grills are somewhere in the range of 20 to 30% off during that sale. So if cash is a little tight and you want to save up for it, it's a good place to get a Hasty Bake, get a good deal on Hasty Bake if you can wait that long. I hate going through grill season without a grill, so I'd buy now if I were you. But we do have a replacement parts sale going on right now too, so if you have that old Hasty Bake that you want to kind of refresh, pull the guts out of it, get everything working like new, the shell's fine, but everything else kind of needs a little refresher, pop on over online or in the store. We have curbside pickup. It's 15% off replacement parts right now.
What about free grill cover?
Free grill cover. We're just giving everything away this month. If you buy a new grill with us, we do throw in a free grill cover. That's somewhere in the range of about $140 to upwards of $300, depending on the model of grill cover and grill that you're buying. So definitely check that out too. They're a really good quality WeatherMax grill cover that we love. They're just kind of cool stuff.
So someone asked, does the screen come in the kit from Andolini's? No.
No, it does not. But it is, I think, about $7 here at the store. So if you need one, Andolini's is a mile down the road. Swing on by, call us when you get in the parking lot. We'll take the credit card number. We'll run a screen out to the table for you. They work really good. Like I said, you can use a pizza stone, you can use a cookie sheet. I just really like the screen. It actually encourages you to get a little crispier crust on the bottom, because that fire and that smoke can kind of come through. They're just really fun to work.
We do have some more questions. Somebody wants to see it sliced for a cross section of the crust to see how it was cooked. We also had another one about the temperature of the grill.
So I'll do a cross section here because I'm going to put this in the box. Remember, we did spray this down with duck fat, so it slides right off that screen. The screen comes clean. Plenty of time to use it. So I'll go ahead and give you a slice here so you can see the crust. Normally you kind of want to wait for this to cool a little bit, but I know we're antsy too, so.
Someone also wanted to include that Elgin Park has a pizza kit that you can order too.
I did not know that. Awesome. Check those guys out. Ben and the guys down at Elgin Park, we love them to death. Didn't know I had a pizza kit. Now I got to buy one from you too. Great folks down there. Really good beer down there. All right. I am horrible at cutting pizza.
A lot of people are saying they're going to be cooking pizza tonight.
I like it. I like it. All right, so here's your cross section of your piece. So I mean, it's fully cooked. You got the air bubbles in there. Now you can leave it in there a little longer if you are worried about having any kind of a softer crust. Throw that heat shield in there and let it bake a little longer so it won't turn your bottom crispy. But you can see our bottom's nice and crispy. This is a little thinner crust piece. Had a lot of toppings on it. It's so good, and you can customize it. You can do whatever you want with it. Cook the crust longer, get more doughy crust. Like I said, I like to put some butter on it and then hit it with some garlic, granulated garlic on the outside. Kind of turn that crust into a little something extra. If you really want to get fancy, steal your kid's string cheese, put it around the outside, roll that crust over, get stuffed crust pizza like we used to get with the Domino's back in the day. Those were so good. Awesome. Any other questions?
All right, now's your chance.
Give you 10 more seconds to ask questions. If not, I'm fixing this. Stuff this.
And don't forget about the pizza class coming up.
Pizza class coming up in June, right?
Yeah, check out eventbrite.com.
Check out Eventbrite. You can search for Hasty Bake Charcoal Grills on Eventbrite. You can link to it from hastybake.com. If there's open seats in that class, you can grab them there. If there's not, you can join the wait list. What's the price on that class? Do you remember?
At $50.
$50. So for $50, you get to try a bunch of really good pizza. We have some cool, I think we're doing some gluten-free recipes. We're doing some regular recipes. We're doing some non-stuff. We're making our own dough. We're buying dough. We like to go crazy with these classes. Sit there, eat some pizza, drink some cold beer, and have fun. So, any others? Guys?
Everybody wants curbside pickup on the slices.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. This is What's Cooking Wednesday Live. We hope you like that we're doing this. We're going to do it every couple weeks now. Bring you just a little bit of time, maybe on a lunch break or while you're sitting there at home, get some ideas, something you can do really quick. This is really quick. We're going to go cook 2 or 3 more for the store and pound them out just because they're so unbelievably quick. It's a great weeknight meal for you to make for your family. So this is What's Cooking Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you guys soon.